Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day and a fabulous start to your 2018. Wow. I wanted to show you what's in bloom now. My beautiful foul legato has started blooming out from this secondary spike. As you see right back here, she's got a primary spike growing as well. So I had to show you this beautiful bloom. It takes a few days for this to totally bloom out and for the color to actually set in the bloom, and after it does, it's absolutely breathtaking. So I wanted to share that with you. I also thought I would share with you today how I'm keeping my orchids during this intense cold weather that we're having. The wind chill today is 3 degrees here. It's been this way for about a week now, and it doesn't look like it's going to let up anytime soon. So I have had to bring in my orchid collection into my house, which has been very different. The reason I brought it in is because the heaters that I keep in my orchid room, they just can't keep up with this intense cold. They can down to about 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but this cold is just, it's too much for those heaters to handle. So I had to bring them all in. So I thought I would give you some hints, some tips about how I keep them in the house and get them through the winter as healthy as I can. Okay, here's a really good view of how I have all of the spikes leaning towards the light source, just like I did back in my orchid room. You want the plants to be as much situated, if you need to move them because of the cold, you want to situate them so that their spikes are headed towards the light source as much as possible. So you can see how I've done that. The other thing is I try to keep these as warm as I can through the winter. I don't let my room get below 68 degrees. They just do better when they're in a little bit of a warmer environment. The other thing is I have kept my humidifier going. This has been a really good buy for me. It keeps the room in here, the humidity level is probably about 50 to 55%. This is a larger room than my orchid room, so I'm not going to be able to quite get the humidity that I do back in my orchid grow room. But the other thing is I don't want the humidity too high either. The booklet that came with my humidifier said to monitor your room and not let the humidity level get above 60 degrees. And especially around your orchids, you don't want a really high humidity level because then you can start a botrytis fungal type infection. What happens is when your orchids bloom out and the humidity has been too high, it looks like pencil marks on the blooms. It looks like just a little bit of pencil lead on your blooms, and you can't really get it off that well, and so your beautiful blooms are marred by those little tiny black dots. So I like to keep my humidity up as much as I can in the winter, but not too high. So I wanted to just pass that along to you all. And when I had to bring my Vandas in, what I did was put them in front of this western facing window. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see they're getting a lot of really good sunlight back here. So I also put this Dendrobium in bloom. Wanted to give it a little bit of extra light, and it fits in well with these, with my blooming Vanda Picara Blue. I'll give you a close-up of this beautiful, beautiful Vanda bloom. I just love this Vanda. And here is my beautiful Dendrobium Burma Jade Fantasy number 9 in bloom. So I've been enjoying these a lot in the house this past week. And I've placed my Dendrobiums in front of this eastern facing window so they'll get plenty of morning sunlight. And I've read where Dendrobiums in particularly, they don't like being moved much. So I made sure that I pointed the leaves here again, towards the light source. Whenever you need to move anything in the winter towards a brighter window or a warmer window, just make sure that you're setting it in the window in as much of the position as it's used to as you possibly can. That will really, really help you. These plants, I think, they don't like turning constantly towards the light. It requires some energy from them. So I made sure that I put them as close in the same position as I possibly could, and I think I finally got it right. You can also mark your pot to show which way it goes towards the sunlight, which way the pot is oriented towards the sunlight, I should say. And that's going to save you a lot of time too. And here's another eastern facing window that I have utilized with my phals. This is where they grew before I placed them in the orchid room. So this is kind of their home away from home. This is their vacation spot. So I know they like to grow here. So just keep in mind you're in the winter to keep your phals, especially in a sunny and warm location. They don't like low light. Low light is really kind of not what you're looking for. You're wanting some sunny early morning light for your phals, even in the winter. With your dendrobiums, an eastern or a western facing window is going to do really, really well. With your cattleya, a western facing window is good. And then of course I showed you where I put my vandas so that they get plenty of light in that western facing window when I have to have them in. So sometimes you just have to you have to tweak where you have them sometimes when the weather gets bad. So I think I've just kind of gone over what I've done. I hope I get to move them back in the orchid room really soon, but it's winter. So I'd rather they be safe in my house and warm, and I know that they're getting enough sunlight in these windows as well. And I can't end my video without showing you my beautiful harlequin phal. Wow. I almost can't talk when I look at this. It is just so beautiful. The white is like a snow white. It is so pretty. I didn't have any bud blast on this one. I'm very, very happy to say it's a beautiful, beautiful bloom. And here's some of my miniatures getting some sunshine as well. I'm going to get a really good bloom this time on my little star phal. I'm so happy to say. My Intensity Mini, it's also spiking. And here's that last little miniature that I placed in bark. It looks like everything's just growing really, really well. So your reminders for this time of the year is just to keep those orchids warm and provide them with a little bit of extra humidity and enjoy the spikes and the blooms. And I hope you all just have a fabulous day. Be highly favored, deeply loved, and greatly blessed. And thank you so much for watching. And we'll talk to you all next time.